Recently orphaned, Hugo spends his days winding the clocks at the Paris railway station. When he becomes obsessed with fixing an automaton that his father left him, Hugo meets George, a once great cinema pioneer.
My life has taught me happy endings only happen in the movies.
Together they revive the Automaton and George's film masterpieces in Martin Scorsese's Hugo.
We've all just seen it. David, why don't you tell us about it?
What a fantastic movie. This movie represents the highest art of filmmaking. The story starts off very much on the boy Hugo and his life in the railway station and what it's like to be an orphan and just going about winding the clocks. But then it branches off into a second plot where he meets Papa George, who works at the railway station and runs a small toy shop. And then it's the story of the two of them and how they find their own paths to happiness.
I am a huge Scorsese fan. My birthday cake 2 years ago was Scorsese's face. And I find that if you love something, you kind of have license to be a little bit harder on them. Because you know that they have potential further than what you may have seen in the movie Hugo.
I'm sensing some negativity coming on.
Okay, go ahead, Liz.
For me, the movie lost its footing at that point that you talked about, where Hugo's plotline is kind of dropped and this character of Papa George kind of emerges.
Right.
And that is where I think the film lost its footing.
How come?
I think that the film had a fantastic structure up until that point, and you're on this journey, and then you only get half of that journey. And that journey is Hugo trying to contact his past father.
Right.
Through the
automaton, right?
Automaton,
right.
who he's inherited from Jude Law, who plays his father. I actually appreciated the divergence. I mean, I think it's naturally earned through the story with the automaton basically kind of being the catalyst of bringing both Hugo and the Ben Kingsley character, Papa George, together. And the shift becomes a shift that I have to say kind of feels like it's for me. I mean, it basically becomes about film history, and it appeals very much to cinephiles like ourselves. And so I was completely on board with that and didn't mind that it went into cinephile territory at all.
What's really important is that we talk about the automaton, because it is a big MacGuffin in the movie, and a lot of people that haven't seen the movie are going to go, what are they talking about?
What does he do?
He's a wind-up figure, like a music box.
In terms of performances, I'd like to call it Asa Butterfield, who plays Hugo. This child actor, actually this young man actor is really remarkable. And the most important thing that he avoids is that Hollywood cuteness. He's able to bring real emotion to his role. You feel his pain, the loss of his dad, the loss of his family. And at no point does he ever fall into maudlin, that you definitely sympathize with him and the struggles that he goes through.
So I figured if the entire world was one big machine, I couldn't be an extra part. I had to be here for some reason. And that means you have to be here for some reason too.
The other performance I think that, might be worthy of an Oscar nomination is Ben
Kingsley.
Yeah.
Who, is one of these actors who can pretty much play anything.
Fix it. I know you've been stealing parts from the shop. Perhaps I'll use those you haven't stolen yet.
His arc is probably the best in the movie. I mean,
Right.
He essentially starts as this cranky old guy who you really can't understand what his problem is.
Right.
And you find out layer by layer as the mystery unfolds who
Right.
this guy really is. And it's a marvelous performance.
And of course, I have to call out Sacha Baron Cohen, who plays the station inspector. And it is just a revelation how wonderful he is. This is probably the best role of his career.
You two, halt! Come here.
Good day, monsieur.
Where are your parents?
Well, it seems as if everyone in this film pairs up with another half.
Yes.
You have the
That's so
Chloë
true.
Grace Moretz and
Right.
Asa Butterfield. We have Sacha Baron Cohen and Emily Mortimer. And we have our older couple, Ben Kingsley
Who plays Papa George and his wife,
and Helen McCrory.
who is also wonderful.
You talked about Sacha Baron Cohen and how his performance was most likely guided by Martin Scorsese, who's known for being just tremendous with actors. He's a master filmmaker, and he knows his craft from the first shot to the last shot.
But he made a statement early on about 3D when he was going into this movie where he said, Every movie should be in 3D, even Precious. And I have to admit, I got a little scared by that statement. I thought Marty, I call him Marty because we're on a first name basis.
We're buds. You're buds.
I thought he had gone off his rocker a little bit with, saying that everything should be in 3D. But within the first moments of this film, my fears were laid to rest very, very quickly. I mean, this is the most beautiful 3D movie yet made. The way he uses that technology, the way he immerses you in that world, it's pitch perfect from a 3D standpoint.
It is a wonderful collaboration of all of these brilliant minds directed by Martin Scorsese to create a fantastical, magical movie.
Well, it sounds like that's all there is to be said, so let's take our tickets.
This is a delightful movie. It is a wonderful adventure, and the 3D is stunning. See it.
It's a magical film from Martin Scorsese. Hugo to the theater and see it.
Hugo is a good film. It's a very good film, but it's also a lopsided film. Still totally worth checking out. See it.
So it looks like that's 3 tickets, which is a resounding see it for Hugo.
Yay, Marty.
Yay, Marty. Cheers.
Yes.